number of COVID-19 cases continues to rise globally and right here in Guyana. Therefore, we encourage everyone to practice social distancing. Wear a mask if you have to leave your homes and wash your hands thoroughly and frequently as we strive to stop the spread of the virus. Welcome to InfoHub for Thursday, August 13. Thanks for joining us as we continue to highlight the work of the new PPPC government, which is working to ensure that Guyana is led down a path of national development. We begin with some great news. In keeping with its manifesto's promise to Guyanese, the PPPC government is reintroducing the Because We Care cash grant. Let's take a look.
The PPPC government has always been people-centered. This shows in their policies, which are drafted to benefit the people. The Because We Care cash grant is aimed at supporting Guyanese students. It was introduced by the PPPC administration and was halted by the former APNU-AFC coalition government following the May 2015 elections. The grant had improved the lives of tens of thousands of school-aged children, and it is for this reason that the new PPPC administration, led by His Excellency Dr. Irfan Ali, has reinstated it. Revealing that the logistics are still being worked out amid COVID-19 concerns, Minister of Education Honorable Priya Manik Chand said that the government is committed to ensuring the vouchers are provided in a timely manner.
That is a commitment we made as a political party on the campaign trail. As you know, the PPPC has always honored its commitments. It's one we intend to honor.
The Education and Health Ministries will work closely to distribute the vouchers while adhering to the strictest safety guidelines.
There's several things regarding the voucher. We're talking at the cabinet level about submissions for the budget. But the $10,000 requires a distribution to people that sometimes could require a gathering or several gatherings, and that is something we're trying to shut down right now. So again, that is not going to be a decision. Prior to now, the Ministry of Education alone made decisions in that regard, because we could have arranged where we met parents, how we delivered. That cannot be a decision we make by ourselves. We would have to consult with health.
The Because We Care grant may also be extended to students attending private schools.
Our view is that every child, including children in the private schools, belong to us. They are Guyanese children. They choose to be educated privately, not necessarily because their parents are wealthy, but because their parents believe that might be a better route for them. Guyanese children, the private schools have helped our public system tremendously with space, so they've taken off a lot of kids who, if they come back into the public school, might end up with overcrowding and so on. I see every student, whether private or public, as a student that we have to have as our paramount concern their interest. And so it is not off the cards. It is something that was raised even the last time.
The Because We Care $10,000 cash grant program was launched in 2014. It was intended to increase the disposable income of parents with school-aged children as a way to directly influence and improve enrollment and attendance rates in schools. In its inception, the grant was, in fact, the first program of its kind in the Caribbean that benefited every child in school. A student must be on the register of a school in Guyana to be eligible to benefit from the Because We Care cash grant. According to Minister Manik Chand, the ministry will be working with the Guyana Teachers Union in the best interest of teachers, who she described as the backbone of the education system.
I don't think a union-ministry relationship needs to be combative. I think it needs to be a relationship where both sides enjoy healthy respect for the other, and that you work together to make sure out of our teachers and that we make them into the best they can be. So that's kind of the relationship. We generally will consult and we commit to that.
The GTU will play a greater role in the immediate future in the education sector, advising on issues related to the upcoming academic term.
All major decisions will be consulted on, and we're facing a big one now, which is how do we deal with delivering academic material, learning, teaching to students in the COVID-19 pandemic. And I don't see how you could move forward in a decision like that without engaging the union. So the invitation was specific to engage and consult and hear the union's views.
Students, parents, and teachers can be confident that the policies being drafted and reviewed by the ministry on the way forward will be in their best interest. One big step students can expect under the PPPC's administration is the restructuring and overhaul of how programs on the Guyana Learning Channel are executed.
I am disappointed about a couple of things, like we should have a learning channel that we could revert to immediately and have programs up and running that our children can be engaged academically right now as they are home. We don't have that. We have a learning channel, but its content is not attractive, not even to me. And it certainly is not structured in a way that could engage our children if they're to stay home.
Former President Dr. Bharat Jagdeo, who now serves as Vice President, is the brainchild behind the channel, which has not seen ample restructuring in the last 5 years under the coalition to fit the needs of the current young population.
The whole idea was so that we could learn differently, so that we could deliver education more effectively in places that can't get traditional means and so on. And that vision wasn't realized, but we're here to realize it now.
Going forward, the ministry will be using the Learning Channel to promote learning in the absence of physical classroom spaces.
We would like to deliver the fancy Zoom classes and Google classes that some of the private schools are using. Connectivity is an issue, so we're not going to stop, or we're not going to stop trying. But the main focus will be to deliver education through packages that students can use with instruction on the Learning Channel.
Letitia Isaacs, for Info Hub.
Prime Minister Brigadier Retired the Honorable Mark Phillips has given the directive for the commencement of the installation of equipment for the establishment of 200 fully functioning ICT hubs under the ICT Access and E-Services for Hinterland Poor and Remote Communities project. The Prime Minister emphasized that the establishment of these hubs is especially important given the need for remote forms of communication in light of the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Prime Minister Phillips' directive was made during a meeting with representatives from the United Nations, the United Nations Development Project, the World Bank, the National Data Management Authority, and the ICT Access and E-Services for Hinterland Poor and Remote Communities project at the Office of the Prime Minister. The project is a joint initiative between the UNDP and the Government of Guyana. It is also funded by the UNDP. The UNDP representatives expressed their willingness to work with the new government to achieve common goals in key sectors such as energy, the environment, and climate change. Quick action by the Civil Defense Commission saw the distribution of cleaning and other supplies on Wednesday to the flood-affected community of Kokwani in Region 10. The visiting team also conducted an assessment.
Cleaning hampers and disinfectants were distributed to 30 families whose homes were affected by the flood at Lamp Island. Leading the Civil Defense Commission's team was Captain Salim October. NDC Chairperson Ellis McPherson told officials that the floodwater is a usual occurrence brought on by the overtopping of the Berbice River. However, while it usually subsides with the tide, it continued to rise without any of the expected tidal relief. The CDC handed over an additional 10 hampers to the NDC to facilitate other households should the need arise. The Civil Defense Commission has been on the ground since the incident assessing the damages cut. The Civil Defense Commission has been on the ground since the incident assessing damages and lending support where necessary. Other members of the visiting team at Lamp Island included Lieutenant Lakshman Prasad, Corporal Delroy Carroll, and Stan Gavaya. Regional Vice Chairman Elroy Adolph, Overseer Clasia Hoenkirk, along with other NDC representatives, were also part of the team. For InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
Let's tell you now that Minister of Public Affairs within the Office of the Prime Minister, Honorable Kwame McCoy, has appointed Michelle Abram Ali as Acting Chief Executive Officer of the National Communications Network. Minister McCoy has also appointed Finance Manager of the Guyana National Newspapers Limited, Moshani Ramutar, to act as General Manager. Both will act until a substantive CEO and General Manager are appointed respectively. The appointments take immediate effect. More news after this short break. Welcome back. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Honorable Anil Nandlal on Wednesday met with the High Commissioner of India to Guyana, His Excellency Dr. K.J. Srinivasa. The two officials met at the Attorney General's chambers, where discussions followed on ways in which the governments of Guyana and India can continue to deepen relations and cooperation to the mutual benefit of their citizens. The High Commissioner committed to working closely with Guyana's government and the Ministry of Legal Affairs in exploring all avenues of cooperation. The Attorney General was also reminded of the numerous scholarship programs available to Guyanese to study, as well as training in various areas including law. Guyanese are encouraged to take advantage of the opportunities available. USAID support for transparency and good governance in the extractive sector has been bolstered with an additional $500,000 grant provided for the Guyana Extractive Sector Transparency Project. The additional funding increases the total project funding to $1 million and extends the project's end date to September 30, 2021. The project aids Guyana's Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, multi-stakeholder group, a group of stakeholders responsible for governance and oversight of EITI implementation, the National Secretariat, and other stakeholders. As Guyana prepares for validation of the country's compliance with EITI standards and the second EITI country report, the project team is providing important technical assistance to the Secretariat, MSG, and reporting organizations to streamline the validation process and collect data and other materials. To date, the project has worked with the Secretariat to develop terms of reference for the MSG and the Secretariat, standard operating procedures, and a communications and engagement strategy. The project has also provided technical assistance, training, and equipment to build the Secretariat's capacity to support EITI implementation. Here now is a public notice. Works on the Leg 1 stelling will recommence on Thursday, August 13, 2020. From August 13 to 16, 2020, there will be no disruption to the regular schedule for the ferry service. Residents of Leg 1 are asked to note that there will be a short period of disruption from Monday, August 17, 2020 until further notice, as the contractor will begin driving piles along the main carriageway. A change of schedule will be published by the Transport and Harbors Department on Friday, August 14, 2020. The Ministry and TNHD sincerely apologize for any inconvenience caused at this time. Residents are asked to adhere to all precautionary measures and signage within the working zone. Remember to do your part to ensure you do not put yourself at risk during this time. If you have a cough, fever, and difficulty breathing, seek medical care early, but call the hotline first. That's all for today. Connect with us on all our social media platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and visit our website, dpi.gov.gy, as we bring you the latest and important news on what the government is doing to ensure the continued development of our country. Your Bridge Reports are up next. Goodbye for now.